Hello, welcome to another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. I'm Gregory Barrett, one of your hosts. Normally, my wife Christine would be here with me. However, she's gone away to visit her family for the holidays, so shout out to my in-laws there. She'll be back in a couple of weeks, but for now I'm just gonna, because I have to stay here, I have to look after the house and the cats and the fish and go to work. I'm just gonna do a few episodes myself and see how it goes. I got a bunch of stuff to review. There's not a lot happening in news right now, but we're not really doing a lot of entertainment news reporting right now. There's been a few trailers, so there's a new trailer. Well, there is a trailer for Blood. It's a new movie coming out January 27th. And this is, let me think about this trailer. It's a woman's kid gets possessed because he gets bit by a possessed dog, which somehow got possessed by a tree. Trailer makes it look creepy. When you say it out loud, it kind of sounds like a dumb premise. But if this is something coming out here, it might be a good, fun thriller movie, and hopefully it's short. So I might check that out. So next, I looked up what's coming out new on Netflix for next month, and it just goes on forever, because they have a lot of stuff being released on there that's old stuff that they just got the rights to, or they're putting it back on there to see if people want to watch it. So what I did was I just pulled a list of, what do I got here, 2, 4, 6, 7 new things coming on Netflix. First one is on January 1st, we got Kaleidoscope, which I don't understand the title for this show. It's a heist show. It's got Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad. He was Gus Fring, and he's been in Star Wars The Mandalorian as Moff Gideon lately. That guy just seems to be having a great time, and now he's in this Kaleidoscope, which is a new series coming to Netflix. It's also got Jai Courtney in it. I haven't heard much from him in the last few years, except for those Suicide Squad movies. I don't know what to make of this. I might check it out, as it's coming out really soon. Just check out the first episode, because the trailer didn't really sell me. But, Giancarlo Esposito is really good and everything. What do you guys think? Are you going to check out Kaleidoscope? Have you checked out the new trailer? Leave a comment down below, or if you're looking forward to seeing Blood later on January 27th, you can leave a comment down below as well. Next, I got The Pale Blue Eye, which is a movie coming straight to Netflix, I believe, with Christian Bale in it. And it appears to be, he's a detective, so it's a murder mystery. And Edgar Allan Poe is in it, so I guess this is 19th century America. I'm not sure why Christian Bale is in this movie for Netflix, but I'll check it out. Hopefully it's not too long. It seems like it kind of has a Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow kind of feel to it. But it's a bit more gruesome than that. I don't know. I'll check it out. Are you guys interested in this? Let me know in the comments down below. Then on January 19th, we got That 90s Show coming. Now, Christine and I talked about this before. I'm really looking forward to it, and she's not looking forward to it at all. But I was just thinking that Netflix has been playing That 70s Show, or they were, and I bet they were playing it for so long that they realized people were interested in this, so they thought, why not bring back, the cast for a show, put it 20 years later in the 90s? And also, I think they're doing the same approach that the creators did with Cobra Kai. What they did was they took the cast members that you remember from the original Karate Kid series, they brought them into this new Cobra Kai series, and then they brought in new characters as well, the kids, and they gave them really good character development and character stories, and, well, it's just a soap opera now. But what got people hooked onto it was they would come just to see the old cast, but then they would get hooked on the new cast as well. So they're doing the same approach, which is a smart approach. Hopefully the new kids in this show they're really funny. Are they going to be able to replace the original cast? Probably not. That show played for several seasons. I want to say 7, possibly 8. That was one of the problems that show really had. It just kept going forever. And eventually they lost their main character, Eric Foreman, because Topher Grace left the show to go make Spider-Man 3. And it just kind of went too long, and the storylines just kind of got all way too, what's the word I'm looking for here? Convoluted. Just kind of went too long. It stayed the 70s for a long time, apparently, there. So, hope that they'll have some good kid characters in this 90s show. They're bringing in the whole cast from the first one as guest stars, although I haven't heard anything about the neighbors, but I don't think they were in it till the end. Bob and Midge. I think that went down a weird path in that 70s show, because they got divorced and then she was gone and he was just the sad guy. I don't think they'll be bringing Bob back. But I'm still looking forward to that 90s show. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. After that, we got Women at War, which is not to be confused with Woman at War, which apparently is a Norwegian film. I watched the wrong trailer, so this is from a few years ago. But this new one is, this is part of Netflix's international market, because they're always bringing in stuff from other markets. They brought in RRR from India. They're bringing in, even Squid Game, that was a Korean show. So they're bringing in lots of stuff from internationally. Dairy Girls, which I just watched. So we're getting to see a lot of really good stuff from other parts of the world. And so this looks like a mini-series they're bringing in from France. And it's about women in 1914 when the men go off to fight. Now they have to go into the workforce, which is, modern day women in the workforce. That comes from the First World War, far more than the Second. Women went to work in both, but it really comes from the First World War. And so this might be an interesting take, kind of a historical perspective of it. I hope it doesn't turn into, like a Better Housewives kind of show. I hope it's actually more of a serious kind of documentary, like Chernobyl was. Hopefully it's good. I'll check that out. That also comes on January 19th, so same day we're getting that 90s show. And then we got June E, which Christine and I watched the trailer for. That comes out on January 20th. I was looking that up, and there was a little bit more of a description that they gave on it. And I was wondering if I could find it, because it looks like it's something from the 23rd or 24th. Oh, here it is. Korean sci-fi movie. So that's good. Hopefully it's not too long. Post-apocalyptic 22nd century, a researcher at an AI lab leads the effort to end a civil war by cloning the brain of a heroic soldier, her mother. Well, that's interesting. Also sounds like it's one of those hardcore sci-fi stories that we've been getting a lot lately. Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune. That's really out there, and people love that. So that's a movie. I'll check it out, see if it's any good. Then on January 27th, we got You People, which doesn't sound like a good title, but this is a comedy from Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. I didn't know those two guys were going to be working together. I'll watch something that they're both in. They both can be really hilarious at times. Last couple of movies that I saw Eddie Murphy in, they were both for Netflix. I believe it was Coming to America, which wasn't really that funny. It looked like they were having a lot of fun making that movie, but I didn't find it that funny at all. And there was Dynamite, or Hello, My Name is Dynamite, Dolomite. I'm probably getting that wrong. Some people said that was really good, but I didn't really care for that. I thought it was okay. But if you put Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy together, hopefully they can come up with something really funny. I'm hoping that's a movie that they're releasing straight to Netflix, in which case I'll check it out. I don't care. I hope it's R-rated and really funny. Then we got Pamela, A Love Story, which comes out January 31st on Netflix. I watched that Pam and Tommy show, which strangely enough coming to us from Disney Plus here, and I found it quite interesting. And after watching, I had a lot more respect for Pamela Anderson because I didn't know all the stuff that she had to go through, and it really made me not like Tommy Lee even more because don't like the guy. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I've never met him, but I might check this out. It's a documentary, so see what it. If I have time, I'll check it out and see if it's any good. But if it's just a boring documentary, I'm not going to bother. Anyway, so that was all the trailers, and those are the things that are new coming to Netflix next month. Any ones that you're looking forward to, or any ones that you're looking forward to that I didn't mention, leave a comment down below. Now, what next? I got a whole bunch of things I can review. Just bear with me here a moment. I have to... When I'm talking so much, I just have to make sure I'm keeping my mouth moist there. I went to go see Babylon. I went to go see that on Monday. So we recorded our last episode on Sunday. And this was kind of a big disappointment to me. This was Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, a bunch of other people in it. I can't really remember all of them. But this was... Before I went into it, I noticed that the reviews on it was split down the middle. Some people were saying they loved it, and other people were saying this is complete garbage. So it could go either way. And I didn't walk out of this enjoying it that much. I posted an out of the theater reaction, spoiler free. I might go into spoilers here, but what I've done now is in the description below I've put the chapters, and also it'll appear on the time bar if you pause it, so you can just jump to the next chapter if you don't want to hear this if you're going to see the movie, and then you can come back and watch it afterwards. So fair warning, spoiler alert for Babylon. The first hour 40 minutes was really good. There's this crazy party which you see in the trailers, and then that goes on for a long time, and then it kind of stops and you think it's going to slow right down, but no, then they're on set and it's just this crazy party as well. And it's just completely nuts. A lot of OHS issues there on those movie sets there. A lot of guys getting needlessly injured, let me tell you. Because this movie starts in 1923 and it goes for quite some time, possibly around 10 years. I don't remember exactly. And then the end of it is way later. But the majority of the movie is within a 10-year stretch. So it starts in 1923. And after you finish with the movie set craziness, there's some more party stuff. You get to about an hour 40 minutes into the movie, and then the last hour and a half, because this movie is 3 hours and 9 minutes long, that last hour and a half, it just drags. It just stops to a halt, and you're just like, if I had gone out, if after an hour and 40 minutes I had been dying to use the washroom and I had gone out, used the washroom and come back into this movie for the last hour and a half, I would have thought I walked into the wrong movie theater, to the wrong auditorium, as if I walked into Amsterdam, from which Margot Robbie was in a few months ago, that I didn't really enjoy, and audiences didn't enjoy either, because man, it just goes off a cliff. And then but during that time, there's this one weird, creepy scene with Tobey Maguire acting really odd and just ridiculously creepy. I don't know what he was going for there. And there's this horror movie scene that he's in, which is not for everyone. Not everyone's gonna want to watch this, which is a little disturbing. And then suddenly it goes back, they leave that scene, and then it just drags again. And yeah, if you're a fan of Tobey Maguire and you know him from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, if you know him that way, maybe don't watch that part because it'll kind of shatter your image of him. But the first hour and 40 minutes was a lot of fun. And then I don't know what happened with it. They kind of try to tie it all together and make it more meaningful. But really, at the end of the day, it's a Hollywood movie about Hollywood. We get a lot of these movies, especially around award season. Hollywood always wants to congratulate itself for being so amazing. So I don't recommend seeing that movie. I'd have to give that a worst movie ever for Babylon because, man, that last hour and a half just ruined that movie for me. So if you're going to see it, I recommend just after it gets to 1 hour 40 minutes, just once the movie starts, note the time, and an hour and 40 minutes later, just be like, yeah, time to go. The rest, you ain't missing anything but if you did see the whole movie, or if you're going to go see it, leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. Next, yesterday, I went to go see Empire of Light, which is from Searchlight Pictures. I'm probably late on reviewing this. Probably came out a month ago in limited release in the States. So this is Olivia Colman and Michael Ward. Toby Jones is in it. I was like, wow, really? Zoloff? That's crazy. So it's made by a director named Sam Mendes, and his last movie that he did was 1917, which I really enjoyed, and I even have a copy on physical media. If you haven't checked out 1917, you want to see a great film about the First World War, that's the one. So this is his next movie, Empire of Light, which is a remake from 1980-81, which is when this movie is set. It's 1980 and goes into 1981. And do I want to spoil this movie? No. This is going to be a spoiler-free on Empire of Light. This movie was kind of disappointing for me because it dragged for a lot of it. And the Empire is the cinema that these people work in. So it's the theater. And so it's an Empire of Light because it's showing film and beams of light, on celluloid. So once again, it's another movie that's Hollywood celebrating itself. It's also about mental health issues because the main character, Olivia Colman, that's I'm not sure what to say about this. It's also about racial inequality and racial tensions because of the time period, 1980-81, in Britain. It's not in London. It's in the southern part of Britain there, it says. I don't think it says exactly where. But most of this movie was... it seemed very all over the place. Was it trying to talk about racial tensions? Was it trying to bring light to mental health issues? Or was it trying to celebrate the cinema? I felt it was trying to do too many things at once. And it wasn't really doing any of them very well. If that makes any sense. It's Olivia Colman. And she's great in everything. So she gives a really great performance. Not everything in the movie I find that believable. But... it's, at the end of the day, I have to give it a worst movie ever. I'm not going to go back and watch it to try and sort it out, to learn more about it, because it'd just be a waste of my time. So this is another disappointing awards movie for me. I don't know, I posted an out of the theater reaction on that. You can check that out, which people have been viewing. Oh well, if you're checking out Empire of Light by Sam Mendes, starring Olivia Colman and Michael Ward, let me know down in the comments below and what'd you think. After that, I saw Strange World, the new Disney Pixar animated film that had a terrible marketing campaign. That is to say, pretty much no marketing campaign. And it was in the theaters, and it was getting such poor reviews that I couldn't even be bothered to go see it. Now it's already available on Disney Plus, which I find odd because I thought it was still within the 45-day theatrical window. I don't know. Strange World. if anyone saw this in the theaters, let me know. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Alan Tudyk. Who else is in it? Yeah, so it's getting kind of mixed reviews. It's got 73% on Rotten Tomato critic score and 67% audience score. I don't know anyone that was excited for this. Our daughter didn't ask me to go see. I don't even think she knew about it. No one did because they did no marketing. And so I watched it on Disney Plus here, and I found out why. It's because it's not really very good. It's I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's all. No, I'm not even going to say that. It's they go to this strange world and they got to figure out what's going on in order to save them. So, yeah, they're lost in this strange world. It's quite boring. I didn't find there was one funny joke in it. So I'm glad I didn't spend any money to go see this in the theater. Yeah, this was kind of a dud for me. I wouldn't say of a worst movie of the year, but it's just kind of nothing. Just for me. Maybe some people really liked it. If you enjoyed it, let me know, and let me know why. And down in the comments below. What else was there? Oh, Christine recommended that I check out the limited series Inventing Anna. So I checked out the first episode. It's 8 or 9 episodes. So I just watched the first episode yesterday, and mainly the reason I wanted to check this out with a recommendation was because it's got Julia Gardner in it, and she was just in Ozark, which she was great in. So I figured I'd check this out. First episode was okay so far. It piqued my interest a little, so I'm going to continue and watch the next episode. But a lot of it was just the same old boring, investigative journalism stuff, which I don't find interesting, and I don't think other people do either. I don't want to watch a movie about, or a series about, we're investigating this source and we got to get witnesses and we got to get corroborating testimonies, and I don't find that interesting. And that Hollywood keeps doing this all the time. I just saw She Said a couple months ago, which I thought this would be this really groundbreaking, interesting story about, breaking open the Me Too movement and taking down the people that are, alleged or already convicted for doing all those terrible things. But it was just the investigative journalism of until they actually broke the story, which I guess I want to see the fallout of what happened after the story broke. Instead, it was beforehand, so I guess that was my mistake. It was just all really rigorous investigative journalism and getting to speak to people and following all this procedure. I'm like, that's not interesting. I don't know why they keep trying to push out this investigative journalism thing that it's interesting. I don't think it's that interesting. Jeez. Who just did that not too long ago? I think it was Spielberg did that in The Post, I believe. When was that? 2017? Yeah, 2017. With Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, and Bruce Greenwood. Is that right? Yeah, Bruce Greenwood. And it's Spielberg who did it. It has an 88% critic rating and 73% audience score. I guess more people like it than not. I mean, that's Spielberg. I still found that movie quite dry. I'm like, I don't find this interesting. I guess I'm in the minority on that. Oh well. If you guys like The Post, or if you really like Inventing Anna, let me know down in the comments below. It did pique my interest, and Julia Gardner seems interesting in this so far, even though we don't get to see her that much. This investigative journalist reporter, I don't care about her character at all right now. She seems a bit too motivated to succeed. Yeah, not really something I admire in the character. So, oh well, I'll check out the next episode and report back here if it's whether I continue on with it or whether I drop it. Anyway, still I'll report back, but I don't know. Oh well. Inventing Anna. After that, Willow episode 6 came out. Now I'm gonna wait for Christine to come back because she should be back in maybe for the next episode. Yeah. In which case we'll be able to talk more about it. We'll be able to talk about episode 6 and 7. But episode 6 was continued not to make a lot of sense. There was a lot of stuff going on with the trolls, and Graydon keeps wanting to talk to Alora about his feelings at inappropriate times because he thinks they're going to die. Man, this show's just all over the place. I think I did post a initial reaction to it on my my YouTube channel there. Just a quick, short 1-minute video you can check out. I don't know why we're still watching this show. I thought it was only 6 episodes, but apparently the source I read before was wrong, because now it's saying on Wikipedia that it's 8 episodes, so we got 2 more. So it's still not winning me over. But I don't know, if kids are loving it, then great. What do you guys think of Willow? I'm sure Christine and I will have a good debate on that as soon as she's back and we get to watch the next episode. What's next? Let's see. Fast 9, the Fast Saga. I found this on Crave, which here in Canada is our crappy version of HBO Max, because we don't have that here in Canada. So I found Fast 9 on there, and I thought, yeah, I should watch this, because everyone keeps saying that they drove a car into space. Okay? That's what everyone's been saying for a couple years now. So I'm like, okay, I gotta see this, because they take a Pontiac Fiero and drive it into space. And they drive it through space. I don't know how they're doing this, but they do have rockets strapped to it. And then they have to take out a satellite, but something goes wrong. So instead they just drive through it and bust it up, and their spacecraft Fiero is just fine. And then at the end they have to go to the International Space Station to get saved. Which, oh my goodness. This, the only other Fast and Furious movie I've seen was the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw, which I thought it was fun, it was wacky and ridiculous. But after watching this, I get this series. It's a wacky cartoon soap opera. It's exactly what Fast and the Furious is, and I totally get it, because there's all this drama going on between all the characters. Meanwhile, at the same time, you're in this ridiculously over-the-top cartoon universe where you can flip your car and drive your car through the air and still shoot accurately, in slow motion as you're driving your car while it's flipping through the air. And they're driving cars into space and doing all these crazy things and saving the world. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. And they're this larger than life mercenary force. I get it. It's fun. It's not really for me. If Fast 10 ever comes out and I'm able to go, yeah, I might go check it out, on opening night and do a review. But it was fun. It's not really my kind of movie, but it was definitely fun. I know there's lots of fans of the Fast series out there. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? As I haven't seen all the other... I didn't see 1 through 8. I can't really comment that much on it. So if you have, or if you've seen some others, what do you guys think of the Fast series? I think it's great that it's given like all these great paying jobs to all these actors, because Vin Diesel's making a fortune off this. They got and Helen Mirren is part of these movies, Charlize Theron, Jason Statham. I know Dwayne Johnson was in them before, but he's not in them now. But everyone's making money off these movies. So that's good on them. Well, if you're a big fan of the Fast series, or you can recommend some good ones for me to watch, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Or just let me know your thoughts on it. Do you like it or do you hate it? Do you not care? How long have we been going for here now? Half an hour? Okay. What else can I review here? The Handmaid's Tale. Changing gears from a wacky cartoon universe, now we're going to go over to dark and grim universe over in The Handmaid's Tale. So I watched season 2 from 2018, and I think I enjoyed season 2 more than season 1. I know I looked at the critics' ratings before, and season 1 is rated higher than season 2. Season 1 was a good introduction to this world, but it did start to drag after a couple episodes, and then they switched gears and they went to June's husband and how he escaped. I think it was episode 7. Season 2 is... Man, the stuff that's going on in this show and the plotting and everything. I'm going to look this up on Rotten Tomatoes here. See what comes up. There we go here. The Handmaid's Tale from 2017. It has an 83% critic score. That doesn't surprise me, but it has a 65% audience score. That doesn't surprise me at all. This show is really dark, and it deals with some really adult and disturbing and dark concepts. Not that this is, it is a thriller, but it's not body horror. It's not porn or anything like that. It just deals with a lot of really deep things. This is a world where, I'll just give you the premise of it without spoiling like individual things, but the premise is there is been a second civil war in the U.S., and now the U.S. has been taken over by ultra right-wing, conservative, ultra-religious, this sect in America, and now they've taken over, and now America is called Gilead, so I'm supposed to believe that this takes place in America. I think it's in Boston. Don't quote me on that. However, it's all filmed in Toronto. And sometimes when I'm watching this show and I recognize things, I'm like, it just takes me out of the show. I'm like, I know where that is. I've been there. Because I've been in downtown Toronto a lot. I used to live there. So the fact that 65% audience score, because when it deals with a lot of things, when it gets into is that there's been a second civil war, this ultra-religious sect has taken over, but women are, in this world, women are barren and they cannot have children. So this ultra-religious sect has now, they've enslaved women, so it gets really dark places like that, and they've made the handmaids, who not only are these enslaved women, these are women who they're there to bear children. And otherwise they would be killed, or they become servants, they become maids, they're called Marthas. There's a real hierarchy of women, and all women in Gilead have no rights, even the ones at the highest, the wives of the commanders. These are the prestigious women, but even they have no rights. They're not even allowed to read or anything. That's how weird and dystopian this future is. And so, like I said, it's terrifying because you're in this weird world where women have absolutely no rights, and people who try to fight back are just killed immediately. And all the Americans, essentially, people. it focuses there on like people from the East Coast, people from Boston and New York, and that they end up going to Toronto. So then when they're filming it there, they're actually saying, no, now you're actually in Toronto, and they make it look like it's in Canada. There's Canada Post mailboxes on the street and everything, and there's Ontario license plates on all the cars. So then they can say they're in Toronto, and they've set up Little America on behalf of the Canadian government. And so the Americans are guests of the Canadian government, and I love how Canada is the same paradise in this weird dystopian future. Where women, even the highest rank, aren't even allowed to read. They have no power in society. They don't work. I don't. It gets to really dark places, and then these handmaids, they're there to have children because these women can't, because most women are infertile now, and so that's pretty much going on. That's going on throughout the world, and so this is how America is dealing with it. We're led to believe. So June is the main character. That's Elizabeth Ross's character. And so she's the handmaid, and it takes you through her journey through this world and her trying to survive and live through this. Because she's captured right at the beginning of the first season. That's the first scene. And her child is taken away from her, and her husband is believed to be dead, and she's made into a handmaid. She's made into a slave. And, geez, this show is just really, it's chilling. Now, the second season, you see a lot more of the world. We get to see there are colonies that they've been threatening us with in the first season, that if you don't behave, you might get sent to the colonies. So we see what that looks like, and that's kind of weird. They're forcing these women to dig up, I'm guessing, radioactive dirt, and then they bag it up in these bags labeled as radioactive, and then what do they do with it? Dump it somewhere? I don't know. As if they're trying to clean up this radioactive land, but they're killing their workers by exposing them to this, which makes no sense to me. I mean, because they're slave labor. And I don't support slave labor at all, but if you had slave labor, you wouldn't want to kill them. You'd want them to be alive. You wouldn't want that would be bad for you. That would be like an employer, killing their employees. That would be bad. You'd have to hire more people. So, and other reasons, because you can't kill your own employees. So that doesn't make any sense to me. There's some other things about this world. We get to see the people of Gilead, these powerful commanders. They go to Canada and they essentially get kicked out. They get booed out because some information comes out about them, and it's really good. Actually, it's quite compelling. So Canada is the same world, and this show just goes to some really dark places. So I completely understand why people wouldn't like it. I'm finding it fascinating, though. It's based off of a Canadian author, Margaret Atwood, and her novel. Now, I just found out recently that I know there's 5 seasons that I can watch on Crave, but I just found out that 5th season only came out recently, back in September. So I can get caught up, hopefully in 3 or 4 weeks. And then when there's going to be a 6th, which is the final season, then I'll be ready to go on that, and I can report back weekly on my thoughts for that. So that's exciting. But, let's see what we got here. According to Rotten Tomatoes, Season 1 has a 94% rating. Season 2 is 89%. Seems to be kind of diminishing returns. Season 4 seems to be the lowest at 70%. So it seems to be kind of diminishing returns. I don't know. I seem to enjoy the second season. Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know. I've always preferred sequels because I want to see where the story goes. But that's just me. Are you guys watching The Handmaid's Tale? Any thoughts on it? Are you able to handle it? Because it goes to some really dark places. Let us know down in the comments below. What else do I have? Something fun to end on there. We talked about Fast and the Furious. We talked about Willow. Big Bang Theory. You guys ever watch Big Bang Theory on CBS? I recently decided, I've been putting it off because I've wanted to for a while, to rewatch the Big Bang series in its entirety. It started in 2007, which, damn, that was 15 years ago. I wasn't watching a lot of TV. I wasn't one of the people who watched it when it first came out, and I couldn't watch it weekly because we didn't have streaming where you could just always go on and look at that stuff. And I certainly wasn't buying the DVDs or anything of it at the time. But later on, I ended up getting caught up, and I watched many of the seasons, but I don't know if I made it through all 11 seasons. So I'm looking forward to going through it all, reliving that, and then finding out the new stuff that happened at the end. So, because I haven't heard anything about what happened at the end, so don't spoil it for me if you're watching this. And if it's in the future and you're watching this, well, I've probably already gotten through all 11 seasons. But I started watching it, and I got 3 episodes in. I'm surprised I made it that far in because I'm just having a lot of fun with it. It's like revisiting old friends. And you're looking back at how young those people were. I just saw Jim Parsons, who plays Sheldon. I just saw him in, spoiler alert, a few weeks ago at the theater. Man, he looks so much older now. I mean, it's been 15 years, but jeez. And he wasn't even young back then. I thought he was one of the older cast members when that show started. So I watched the first 3 episodes. The first episode is where they meet Penny, and then she suckers them into Oh, I'm going to spoil this, by the way, so if you don't want to hear this, jump to the next section. But the show's 15 years old now. First episode, Penny suckers Sheldon and Leonard to go get her TV back from her ex-boyfriend, and they get pantsed. So that's a classic. Second episode is when... What happened in the second episode there? Is that the furniture? Penny asks... No, the second episode is when... Yeah, Penny asked them to move some furniture that it was being delivered, and she wanted her to put them into her apartment there. So they did. They struggled because these Sheldon and Leonard had to get this giant box up the stairs, 4 flights of stairs, and they have no upper body strength, as they say. So they did that, which was hilarious. And then when Sheldon saw Penny's apartment, he decided to break in there that night to clean and reorganize the place. So there's another classic. And the third one was the third one? I think Sheldon gets fired by the dean, something like that. Oh. Maybe I didn't finish it yet. I'm gonna get to it, but are you guys ever big fans of the Big Bang Theory? Did you like it or not? So far I'm loving this. I'm gonna start watching this as much as I can when I'm not. Man, I got too many things to watch. Inventing Anna, Handmaid's Tale, and then when I got time, I'll get to Big Bang Theory. But yeah, I definitely want to keep watching this. I'm having such a good time so far. So maybe I'll try and get through a season a week and then report back on my thoughts for it. And it's weird because it's just the 5 of them in the first season. They didn't add all the other characters until much later on. So you start small and then you build up to all of that, which, you know, as shows go on, you want to introduce more characters, but you want to make it more interesting, but you want to make it be organic to the story. You don't want to just say, hey, this random kid showed up and now you get to look after this kid. And you're like, why is this kid here? Why did they add this character and no one likes them? Although it must be tough for actors if they add you into a beloved show, like, and then people don't like you. I think that's what happened to Jefferson on Married with Children. because if you ever watch Married with Children, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go check it out because it's great. It's hilarious. When the neighbor Marcy, her husband leaves her, Steve, she kind of goes crazy, and then she goes off, and then she's single for a while, and then they're like, no, we can't do this. It's Married with Children, right? So then they bring her back for the next season, and she's gone off on some crazy drunken tirade and ended up on a cruise and came back with Jefferson from the Love Boat. And they were ragging on that guy all the time for being on the Love Boat. But he stuck it out there, and people actually did like that character eventually. But a lot of times you bring in a new character, people don't like it at all. But they did it really well in this show when they brought in Wolowitz's wife and Sheldon's girlfriend, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of them. There's that geometry professor. That's why I got to rewatch the show, and I'm looking forward to it. Any fans of The Big Bang Theory out there? Anyone watched it, or anyone thinking about watching it who never has? Let me know down in the comments below. I think that's all I got time for reviews. Once again, I apologize. Christine's not here. She'll be back in probably not for the next episode I'm going to do on Sunday, but she should be back for might be a couple episodes, and then she is coming back, I assure you. If you have any comments on any of the things that I talked about here, let me know down in the comments below. Take care, everyone.